Hey everyone, it's Jessie checking in from Bellevarde. It's a quiet Sunday morning here in resort, with a very wintry feel hanging over the village after a cold night. Things feel a little slower this morning, with people easing into the day and the slopes gradually coming back to life. Overnight here in town, it stayed cold and dry, with temperatures falling steadily through the evening and bottoming out at around -11 degrees Celsius in the early hours. There was no snowfall recorded at all overnight, and winds stayed very light, generally just a few kilometres per hour, with the odd gentle gust passing through the village. By first thing this morning, temperatures had lifted slightly to around -8 degrees Celsius, but it's still feeling crisp and properly wintry at resort level. Around the village today, it's going to feel quite grey and muted. Cloud cover stays in place all day with no real breaks for sunshine, and temperatures topping out at around -1 degree Celsius. Winds stay light for most of the day, though you may notice the odd stronger gust at times, especially later on, coming mainly from the east. Up on Bellevarde, it's a colder and more exposed picture. Temperatures up top peak at around -7 degrees Celsius, with cloudy skies and limited visibility at times. Winds remain mostly light, but it will feel noticeably colder than in town, especially when you're stopping or waiting on lifts. Our usual informants have gone a little quiet today, but that normally means the resort is ticking along exactly as you'd expect for a Sunday evening. The reliable favourites are still your best bet. The Blue Note, just across from the ESF office, is always a solid choice. The Black Sheep, the newer sister venue to Le Hibou, has quickly become a favourite for a relaxed drink with a good atmosphere. Petit Danois is usually lively on a Sunday evening and often has a DJ playing, and if you manage to get past the door at La Baraque, you'll find live music early on before the DJ takes over later in the evening. So even without a headline event, there's no shortage of places where you'll find good music, good people, and a proper Val d'Isère atmosphere. And for anyone connected to the Val d'Isère chapter of the Ski Club of Great Britain, or just curious to see what it's all about, there's a meet-up this evening from 5 o'clock at the bar of the Avalanche Hotel. It's a great opportunity to meet the team, make new friends, and line up ski buddies for the week ahead. Now let's take a proper look at the avalanche situation, which is especially important today. This is a translated summary of the official bulletin d'estimation du risque d'avalanche issued by Météo France, and you must check the full report via the link in the description before heading off-piste. For today, the overall avalanche risk is marked above 1,800 metres and limited below that level. The main concern remains a persistent weak layer buried in the snowpack, combined with some more recent wind-affected snow near the surface. Above 1,800 metres, this weak layer is still very reactive. It's made up of poorly bonded snow, a bit like coarse salt, and it can fail either locally or sometimes even from a distance. If it does go, avalanches can be large, with fractures close to a metre deep. Triggering one slope can also set off others nearby, so the consequences can be serious. Closer to the surface, there are still some smaller wind slabs sitting in accumulation zones, both near ridgelines and lower down at the base of slopes. These slabs are slowly becoming less reactive, but they can still be triggered by a skier, especially where they're hidden under a thin layer of fresh snow. Natural avalanche activity remains limited, with only small releases expected, mainly on very steep south-facing slopes when the sun has any effect. However, human-triggered avalanches remain the primary risk today. In simple terms, conditions might look inviting, and the snow quality is actually very good in many areas, but the structure underneath is still problematic. If you're considering heading off-piste, conservative terrain choices are essential, and sticking to lower angle slopes is strongly advised. And once again, please make sure you read the full official bulletin before making any decisions. If you're planning to explore the mountains this season, remember, off-piste skiing is dangerous. Always take a qualified guide and never go off-piste without a transceiver, shovel and probe, and most importantly, know how to use them and practice regularly. That's it for today's update. If you're out and about and spot something worth sharing, whether it's an event, a bit of live music, or just a great atmosphere somewhere in town. Drop it in the comments and help everyone else make the most of their day. If you're finding our updates useful, a like and a subscribe to the Val d'Isère online YouTube channel really helps to support what we do and reach more people who love the resort.
For further information, Piest reports, and events sponsored by Val d'Isère Tourism, please go to radiovaldisere.com, the local radio station with the most up-to-date information. Forecast information provided by medioblue.com, infoclimat.fr and mediofrance.fr. Conditions in the Alps can change quickly, so always check before heading out. Webcam pictures courtesy of the official Val d'Isère website valdisere.com.